welcome to Lesson 2. My name is David Paul. We're going to do the play by ear for the 3 songs on Lesson 2, which are Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Go Tell Aunt Rhody, and Oh When the Saints Go Marching In. Okay? So if you're brand new and you're seeing this song for the first time, this lesson for the first time, you want to scoot back and do Lesson 1 because we're going to build on that. It'll be a little confusing if you try to learn to play by ear only by what I say today. So here's the deal. In this lesson, we have songs that have more than 5 notes. Okay. So it's super important to do your scale and to do your echo and to do your jam because you're going to start to cover more notes. And in those practice videos on the foundations, I show how you keep your thumb in one spot and you move your fingers, but you always come back. It's called an extension, right? You can spread out, but you have home base to come back to. If you're playing by ear, that's a really important thing to learn how to do because when you run out of fingers and you have to cross over and do all these things, it becomes very, very difficult, and it holds people back. So in Twinkle Twinkle, for example, what we do is we have the ring finger play the G. Twinkle, twink. The third note is played there because we have to have one more finger for what's left over. You start to figure that out when you're playing by ear anyway, but I wanted to mention it to you because some of you are brand new to this. All right, so I highly recommend if you're just starting out playing by ear, focus on the melody, focus on the right hand. Don't worry too much about the left hand, all right? And what we do is we use the add one idea that I explained in detail on the first lesson. So you start off, and some of you may know Twinkle, right? And so you just keep kind of going according to what you hear in your head. And then you add one. And maybe you can add even more than that. Right? A real valuable thing to know about when you're playing by ear is that like 60%, more than half of music goes by step. In other words, the notes are in a row. So in Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, yeah, you repeat, but it's part of your scale. When you're playing by ear, if you recognize that scale, it saves you a whole bunch of time because the scale, right? That accounts for like the next 6, 7 notes because you recognize the pattern. When you're playing by ear, a lot of it is about recognizing the patterns, okay? So in Twinkle, if you get to the middle part, right? There's a pattern. It's in and it repeats. Okay? And another thing you do when you play by ear is you recognize when the music comes back and it's the same. So in Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, it's a song sandwich. The first music comes, there's something different in the middle, and then the first music comes back at the end. Bread, goodies, bread, right? P&J, whatever it is, peanut butter and jam, whatever. So recognizing when the music comes back and it's the same, it saves you because then it's not like learning like 1,000 notes that are all different. It's about recognizing that, oh yeah, I did that before and it comes here after I go here. You start to map it out, right? So that can be really helpful in these songs because the music comes back in all 3 of them, right? Okay, so in order to learn to play by ear, what do? You do your scale, you do your echo, you do your jam, just like the foundations, right? The song cipher thing, so, because sometimes it's a little bit too technical. You can figure that out by listening, but it can be helpful. It's only a few minutes. If you find it valuable, that's cool. All right. So That's the biggest chunk to recognize, well, the music is coming back, and then the music has notes in a row, right? And where the notes skip, you start to figure out that distance. All right, we'll cover those. Those are called intervals. We'll do more of that as we progress. You'll get really good at that, right? So there is one advanced idea I'm going to share with you. And if you're starting out, I'll say it again, focus on doing the melody. Because if you get through 36 songs and you can play the right-hand melody, you can fit in the rest. You may want to make up your own music, because we do chords in the left hand, and that's a way of bringing it together. A lot of people who play by ear on the piano are more tuned into how a guitar player thinks about chords. I can't share all of it at once, but just so you know, focus on the melody the most, and then you can pick up the left hand as we go. Even so, some of you might be really, really sharp. You might have really, really good ears. So this is what you do. That add one idea, you are going to focus your ears for the high note, the melody note, right? And the landing point where the melody note comes in with the bass note. You want the lowest note and the highest note. You want to be able to hear those. So in the song, it goes by so fast, right? So you may want to use the practice recording so it doesn't go by so fast. But basically, we're doing when the left hand changes, what is the melody note? Well, it's there, and you find it on the piano. And then once you know that landing note, the high note, then your ear starts to pay attention to, well, what happens in the lowest note? You begin with things like, oh, okay, it goes down, right? It goes down. And then you think, well, it goes down how far? And you kind of pick it out. So to kind of show you what I did, that flies by, right? But so you're going to pick out that note and you say, well, what is the left-hand note? You just kind of search around. Okay, it's there. First was this one, right? And you do the echo until you know it, right? And then you listen to the recording again and you figure out the next thing, right? So this add one idea breaks into, okay, what's the highest note? And then what's the lowest note? Where they come together. Once you have that, you can figure out what happened in between. Oh, it skips down, or oh, that goes by scale. And all of those things start to come to the surface, but you look for your anchor spots. The highest note, what you're looking for, well, when the hands come together, like, where are they? Where's the highest note? What is that? What is that? And I've done some transcribing where you take a piece that's been recorded and then you turn it into written notes. And I've sat there and I've listened 20, 25, 30 times. I just, what is that note? What is that note? What is that note? You get so frustrated after a while. But that effort starts to build your ability to hear. And that's what play-by-ear people do. It's the challenging part, right? But I know play-by-ear piano players, for example. They literally know 750 songs, and they can play them at a drop of the hat. So that effort that you make to be able to play it by ear really locks it in for you. And you start with little bits. Echo is the place to start. The jam will get you feeling the music, right? The scale tells you what notes you're going to need, right? And then from there you build. And I promise, you keep after it, focus on the melody for a while. It'll add to it. And especially in these songs, I chose these songs because most people know them really well. You know, there's about 30 songs. You probably already can sing them in your head. And now we just have to figure out how to play them on the piano. Okay? So I hope that helps. And I'll look forward to catching up with you for lesson 3. Thanks so much.